Good morning, a pleasant day to all of you. I'm Cito Beltran, and welcome to the program Agenda. You are watching us via Cignal TV, channels 8 and channel 250 for high definition television. And you can also watch us via facebook.com/One News PH, and on YouTube, just enter One News PH. Okay. Now, for those of you who would like to make comments or suggestions, you can also text us via SMS 0968-704-7736. Okay, today is a Thursday. How time flies, and it is August 19, 2021. I do hope that you will stick around because today we are hoping to learn about the Commission on Audit. We are not going to delve into the politics, into the feud, into the issue of the Department of Health in particular, but more trying to understand what is the COA, how does the COA operate, how do the COA auditors go about their work, and what does it mean to be flagged versus to be flogged by the COA, as in the words of President Rodrigo Duterte. We will also be speaking, hopefully, with the chairman of the Commission on Higher Education. And I know some of you, ay nako, Ched, what will I learn? Well, I have made discoveries lately, not as a journalist, but as someone who is interested in tertiary and further education of people in the provinces. And I've learned that it is not an easy thing and for people or for families to send children to college, even under a system where we have free education, supposedly, under the Commission on Higher Education. Kasi nadinig naman yun, sinabi yan ni CHED Commissioner that the law has been passed, it's in effect, but it's shocking because in a private school for nursing, it can cost you as much as 900,000 plus for 4 years. In a state university, if a child or a student still has to board, because many of the state universities are regional in nature, kumbaga, nasa isang lugar, maraming mga batang gusto magkolehiyong libre, will have to live away from home and go to boarding school, etc., etc., it can cost you $500,000. So let's find out those two concerns. One is the COA, the other one is the CHED, and let's better understand them. But before that, let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star. And there you go. There's the front page. The main headline is DBM, or Department of Budget Management, blamed for delayed fund release of nurses. And on the top of the front page, COMELEC junks extension of voters registration. So wala ng extension, finish or not finish, pass your papers. COA flags DSWD lapses in ayuda distribution. Pope, getting vaccinated is an act of love for others. Let's go to the bottom half of the front page of the Philippine Star. There you go. Metro mayors leave ECQ extension to IATF. And 16,000 daily cases possible next week, according to Okta, because this week it has been hovering from 10 to 11 to 14 down to 10. Now it's at 11,085, if I'm not mistaken. And the number of deaths, unfortunately, has breached the 100 mark. I think it's 161 there. Sorry, but my eyes... okay, it's 161. 161 deaths. And then DOH on cloth masks. Double your cloth mask or use surgical, okay? And that photo there is commemorative of the Aspin Day, or celebrating a day for stray dogs, and that photo is of a street dweller kasi homeless yata yung taong yan, nakatira sa kariton and taking care of his dogs. Anyway, let's go to the news behind the headlines. The Health Budget Department are pointing, the Health and Budget Department are pointing fingers at each other over the reported deficiencies in handling the 67 billion peso COVID-19 funds. In the Senate Blue Ribbon inquiry yesterday, Health Assistant Secretary Cito Beltran, hindi ko naman yata kamag-anak yan, said the DBM was late in releasing the funds to the DOH. In response, the DBM OIC Tina Rosemarie Kanda said the DOH had all the time to prepare all the paperwork for compensation programs as bayanihan laws were enacted last year. We are talking about 2020 and they are still problematic in 2021. Meanwhile, Metro Manila mayors are leaving it up to the IATF to decide on the region's quarantine classification beyond Friday, August 20. MMDA Chairman Benhar Abalos admitted the mayors did not come up with a recommendation, but they are committed to double up vaccination efforts, increase contact tracing, and become stricter in enforcing health protocols. And the Octa Research Group warned that the number of daily COVID-19 cases may reach 16,000 next week. Octa Fellow Professor Guido David noted the rise of COVID-19 cases, particularly in southern and central Luzon. He said this situation may counter the impact of ECQ in Metro Manila. And that, unfortunately, is what we were talking about early this week, that because everything has been concentrated, the vaccination, the quarantine, the efforts has been focused on Imperial Metro Manila, baka makakalimutan ng mga hari-harian sa Metro Manila na may Pilipinas pa. There is still a Philippines to be concerned with, and that is the fear of that projection that the number of cases outside Metro Manila will outgrow the number in Metro Manila and basically nullify what they have achieved in Metro Manila. Kasi kung magano, mapaganda mo nga yung Metro Manila, nasunog naman yung buong Pilipinas, ay patay tayo dyan. Okay. The quote of the day comes from the book of Proverbs in the Bible, chapter 4, verse 5. Get wisdom. Get insight. Do not forget. And do not turn away from the words of my mouth. That is from the Lord God Almighty. Get wisdom, get insight. And why did we choose that for today? Kasi alam niyo po, maraming tao na they don't understand what's going on with the DOH, with the DBM, with COA, and especially with COA. Many people just think, oh, COA discovered corruption, COA discovered anomaly, COA, blah, blah. No, but they don't even understand why there is a COA. Para pong sa mga companies. In companies, big corporations, the bigger the corporation, the greater the amount of money that is moved around, spent, invested, etc., the bigger the accounting department, the auditing department, and many corporations have even external auditors. If it is a multinational, nako po, it won't have just one internal and external auditor. They have several consulting external auditors because at the end of the day, It is the other people's money, OPM, hindi po original Filipino music, other people's money. So in the Philippines, because we are talking of magkano na ba? 4 trillion ba? Ewan ko. Sorry, hindi na kaya ng mathematic limitations ko. Trillion peso budgets is being spent by the Republic of the Philippines. This is nothing to do with who is the president, the vice president, etc. There are trillions of pesos at stake that can easily be misused, misappropriated, or stolen, or taken by corruption, through corruption. And that's why we have COA. But the problem is, even I don't understand COA. So what we did was, we tried. Every time there is a problem like this, there is an issue or controversy, we try to get COA or the chairman of the COA or OIC or spokesperson of COA, but they always refuse. I don't take it against them. Kasi alam nyo po, parang COMELEC yan. Parang Supreme Court yan. They have to do their job and they don't have to explain it. It is presumed. Their integrity, their capability, and their intent is presumed to be correct and proper. So bakit kanyo? Kasi pag nagdadaldal daw yung mga ganyang auditor, baka misinterpret. So instead of talking about the DOH issue or the DBM issue, let's try to better understand what COA is. And that is why we chose that quotation from the Bible, from the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 5. Get wisdom, get insight. Huwag po tayong magmarunong. Ang dami, people are not impressed by your opinion but by your action. So let us get someone who hindi na siya COA. Dati siyang, sandali. Nagkabaliktad yata ako dito. Sandali, Mr. Tolentino, I thought we were going to have, sorry, I misread this. Mamaya pa pala si Madam COA, no? Mamaya pa si Madam COA. Pero sige na, bigla kayo nabitin, ano? Lalo na yung mga trolls, nabitin bigla. Okay, but before that, balikan ko muna yung intro ko kanina, sinasabi kong yung tungkol sa mga students. Okay? Let's backtrack a little. Earlier, I said, I have been studying what it takes to send someone through college. Kasi, okay, modesty aside, hindi po ito yabang. May mga tinutulungan kami mga bata. And we have done this through the years, okay? It's part of our ministry na tumulong. Hindi naman kami sponsors forever or for life, no? And recently, one of our students, quote unquote, had finished high school or high school, and said she really wants to be a nurse because of what's happening in the country. So I said, good for you. Malay mo, baka makapag-medicine ka. And we went through the process of trying to find a school for her here in Batangas. And I honestly got the shock of my life. We all presume mahal ang edukasyon sa Metro Manila kasi pinapadala natin yung mga beloved sons and daughters natin sa private school dyan sa Metro Manila. Pero once I went about, or my wife Karen went about looking for a place and understanding the cost, I got the shock of my life. For a private school, it's almost 1 million pesos for 4 years. Basics, tuition fee, lab, baon, pamasahe. Walang, walang tawag nila dorm, okay? For Batangas State University, it would still cost, it's cheaper because it's free, pero it would still cost 500,000 for 4 years. Let's bring in the CHED Chairman Prospero de Vera to give us an education today. Chairman de Vera, good morning, sir. Nakamute ka yata, boss. Hello? Okay.
Okay.
There. Okay, I can hear
Yeah.
you now.
Good morning,
Okay.
Cito. It's always nice to be in your program.
Okay, Chairman, pag-usapan naman natin, first of all, I think you heard my intro na naghanap kami ng eskwela, etc. And the first thing I discovered was it's not easy trying to determine what are the best schools or universities for a particular course relative to cost. Kumbaga, sabi ko, humanap nga tayong magaling na mga eskwela. Sabi ni Chairman de Vera, okay ang Batangas State University. When we were trying to cross-check and look for other schools, I actually had to contact someone from a nursing recruitment agency. I had to contact some placement agency from England. Where are your best nurses coming from in the Philippines? Oops, nako. Biglang tumayo si Chairman De Vera. Mukhang na-disconnect yung kanyang
I'm
signal.
good. Yeah.
Okay, inayos mo ang camera mo, no?
Yeah.
Okay, so first discovery was, wala ba tayong listing that parents or sponsors can go to determine, okay, if you want the best architectural school, this is available in the website of CHED. If you want the best nursing, this is available, etc., etc.
Well, it's in the website of CHED, the list of centers of excellence. There's a little over 100 centers of excellence now and more than 200 centers of development. These are higher education institutions that have been evaluated by the Commission in terms of their instruction, their research, and their extension programs, and have found to be a cut above the rest. No? For example, Cito, the results for the mining engineering licensure test just came out. And surprise, surprise, in the top 10, the number one was Caraga State University. I don't know if you've been there or you've heard of Caraga State. I think they have 2 graduates in the top 10. Bicol University also has one. University of Southeastern Philippines in Davao have graduates in the top 10 and only one from UP. So you should see that, or you can see that you don't have to go to Metro Manila, you don't have to go to UP to become a very good mining engineer. One of the most coveted degrees that you could get in terms of employment and higher salaries.
Okay, Chairman, how do we make sure that and please no, I admire, I respect, and I applaud na yung mga nasa state university or colleges in the provinces ay nagtatap are the top notchers, no? But how do we ensure that these are not one-hit wonders or mga inalagaan ng isang university or private college para mag-top na naman sila sa because one of the people I consulted with, sabi niya, sir, mag-ingat kayo kasi may mga eskwelahan na yes, nagtatap yung kanilang estudyante every year, makakaisa sila na nasa top 10 kasi inaalagaan yung estudyante na yun. Kumbaga Trey, parang Heidi Diaz. Kaya you will become the next Olympic gold medalist dito. How do we make sure that that doesn't happen?
Well, yung centers of excellence kasi, Sito, these are applied for by the schools. They apply. When we issue a call, they apply and we evaluate them, all of them. And one of the most important indicators in the granting of a center of excellence or center of development is the licensure exam results over time. So we track that. We track the licensure results of our universities. So hindi pwede yung one-hit wonder, yung one top notcher in 20 years, hindi ka magiging
Oo.
center of excellence. We look at the credentials of the faculty, the kind of graduate degrees that they have, where they get it, what kind of specialization their faculty have in terms of graduate degrees, their research output, their extension program. So it covers all the important mandates of a university, and you have to be good in all of them to become a center of excellence. So once a center of excellence is given to a particular degree program in a particular school, that is a seal of excellence that tells everyone that your program is better or one of the best in the country, if not in the region. And so that is an important indicator of the kind of degree program that a university has. And
Uh,
once you have a center of excellence, this is not forever. This is reviewed regularly. So if you become a center of excellence, you don't get it for the next 20 years. No, you're subject to review. And if you're a center of excellence or center of development, you get first crack at the research grants of CHED. When we link up Philippine universities with foreign universities, we usually bring, when I meet with my counterpart ministers in other countries, when we try to establish university to university linkage, I bring usually the presidents of the centers of excellence with me, and the centers of development, so they can sit down with their counterparts in other countries to develop joint degree programs, niche programs in the graduate school. And so once they are able to link up with their foreign universities, tataas lalo yung kanilang international ranking,
okay.
tataas yung kanilang quality of research, and they maintain that level of excellence that they have.
Apparently, Chairman De Vera, there is also an advantage for graduates. The person we spoke to in the United Kingdom, alam mo, social kami. Sa UK pa kami nagkukonsulta, no? Yabang, ano? Kumari ko, tinanong namin. They said that if a graduates from a center of excellence, certain tests or yung mga barriers or hurdles are removed from a graduate of a center of excellence. Parang it's easier
Yeah.
for them to get jobs, they get a higher ranking. Is this true?
Oh yes, because what is happening now globally is each of the countries, their Ministry of Higher Education has what is called a registry of recognized universities. So this is negotiated bilaterally. So for example, when I go and meet with my counterparts in other countries, we discuss and agree that the registry that they send to us, the registry of their good schools, are the schools where we easily recognize the degrees. And
Okay.
the registry that we also give to the other country is the registry of good schools. So the graduates of these schools, when they go to these countries to do graduate studies, for example, their degrees are recognized. When they go and get a job, their degrees are recognized. So universities do not exist in a vacuum now. Everything is internationalized. And
Okay.
therefore, if you're a center of excellence, then the other countries know who are the centers of excellence in the Philippines, because
Okay.
these are sent to the other equivalent ministries that we have. Kaya yung mga graduates nito, pagdating doon, mas madaling ma-recognize yung kanilang credentials. Kasi
Okay.
meron.
Naghahanap kami ng paglalagyan nitong isang ini-sponsor namin because in a private school, it would cost us nearly 1 million pesos for the next 4 years to get her through nursing. And sa Batangas State University, because she has to live there in Batangas City, it would cost 500,000 kasi board and lodging, tapos yung et cetera, et cetera. Paano na? How can we expect Filipinos to have a better education and lift our quality of life and our economy if a great population or the majority can't afford those kind of tuitions and expenses?
Well, Sito, number one, as you know, tuition and miscellaneous fees in our public universities are now free. We're
Yes.
the only developing country that has this.
Mhm.
The effect of this is that entrance to public universities has become more competitive kasi
Mhm.
libre na.
Okay.
That's the what you might call outcome that makes it difficult. But at the same time, our participation rate in higher education has jumped up dramatically.
By how
This is the
much?
percentage. This is the percentage of Filipinos of university age who are actually in the university. You know,
Oh.
before we were far behind Malaysia and Thailand, which are our competitors in higher ed in the region. But
Mhm.
now we are now at, I think we're hitting 35% now. That's very high compared to before. When I came in CHED, we were less than 30%. So
Okay.
the signal that you should try to go to higher education has been heard by our students. More and more
Mhm.
students are now trying to go to higher ed. So the percentage of them who should be in university is much higher compared to previous
What is
years.
the percentage of success? Kasi the woe is for many years elementary pa lang hindi makatapos, hindi marami sa high school nakaka second year high school lang. In terms of university, you have a 35% spike. What about the graduate statistics or success? But before you answer that, allow me to go for a quick break para may pangbayad tayo ng kuryente. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and you are watching us via Cignal TV channels 8 and 250 and through the assistance of PLDT Home Fiber Optic Internet. Okay, let's go back to Chairman Prospero po. Popoy de Vera. Chairman de Vera. Ewan ko ba, ba't ako nabubulol dito? Chairman,
Popoy na lang,
okay.
Popoy.
Okay, you said, okay, sabi mo, libre na yung matrikula. Wala nang miscellaneous fee. Great. I know that you and the senators, etc. have done this. Okay? Nakapag-graduate na kayo ng first batch of college students under the free tuition fee program. Congratulations again. Now we have an average of 35% of the college level population enrolled in university. Ngayon, doon sa mga nag-graduate, how many percent of what graduated? Kasi ano yung success rate?
Malalaman natin yan in about 2 to 3 months pa, Sito, because this is the first batch of graduates from free higher ed. And our school year ended actually, or is just ending for some of them kasi hanggang summer. So the
Okay.
data is not yet complete because of COVID, some of the schools started their semester in October already last year. So their students have just graduated this past school year. So hindi pa natin alam yan, but maybe in 2 to 3 months we will get that data as soon as all the submission of the graduate names are submitted to our regional offices.
Okay, now, how do we further, how can we make university or college education more affordable? Kasi libre na nga yung matrikula, libre yung miscellaneous fee. Pero yung pagbiyahe-biyahe, yung dorm, magastos, I was thinking, and this is just because para na rin akong tatay dito sa mga inaalagaan namin, baka naman pwede tayo parang UP. I don't know where you went to college, Chairman,
Sa
but
UP ako, UP.
oh, UP, di ba? Sa
Yeah.
UP, walang pakialam kung magpakita ka 3 times in one sem, basta mapasa mo yung exam, mapasa mo yung requirements, you are graded on your submissions and and your tests. Is that possible that at least the first 2 years are primarily online?
Well, we have adopted a policy of flexible learning already in higher ed. So the universities are given discretion to adopt the appropriate mix and match of education delivery systems. So it is possible in many schools that they will combine, face-to-face with online or offline classes, and the
Mhm.
students may not need to go to school every day. That is what is evolving now in many schools, both as a response to the health problem, at the same time an intervention to use technology mediated learning more exhaustively, no? But
Mm.
there are other things that we can do. We can improve school facilities, particularly build more dormitories. We can improve connectivity so that students will spend less load when they do asynchronous classes.
Mhm.
And we need to expand funding for higher ed,
Well,
particularly yung tertiary education subsidy.
Well,
Because this is
if
the,
you let us know, we will help you lobby for that. Kasi I am beginning that under your leadership, I am beginning to see better results, less political issues. So maganda naman na may nangyayari dyan sa CHED. And actually, you're communicating the right things. Now, here's our concern, Chairman. Kasi yung tungkol sa connectivity, DICT yan eh. I
yeah,
think that's your biggest problem right now. The
yeah.
DICT that has promised the Wi-Fi in every barangay, even the DepEd has that problem. Uh, have you ever thought of sitting down with the DepEd and the DICT and the President para magkaliwanagan na? Ano ba, mabibigay ba natin sa mga bata ito o hindi?
We've sat down with the ICT a lot of times, and in fact, they're helping us, yung the
Mhm.
ICT. In fairness to the ICT, no? What
Oo.
we've done is we have started investing in what we call smart campuses. We're giving grants to public universities to
Oo.
improve their technology system in their schools, laying fiber optics, buying stronger bandwidth, putting up good audiovisual centers so their faculty can videotape their lectures, putting together internet rooms in the school so that
Have,
when the
yeah.
students slowly come back for limited face-to-face, the school that they will go through is a much better, smarter school than when they left in March last
Yeah.
year.
Have you
The
done an
problem,
audit?
the,
Have you done
yeah,
an audit or inventory of the schools? Because
oh
one
yes,
of the students that we were kind of, parang best, one of the barkadas of my daughter who went to, pasensyahan na, no? UP Baguio. Wala silang internet dun sa loob ng dorm. Bawal silang magdala ng electric water kettle, bawal din. Basta kuryente, bawal. So the kids always have to leave the campus to get internet, to get
yeah.
coffee, etc. Parang sabi ko, ano ba to? Are we still in the 1960s? Pasensya ka na, Chairman.
No,
I'm
no,
passionate about making life
yeah.
easier for kids.
Marami pa tayong kailangan gawin, I must admit. No? That's why
Yeah.
I have been going to the campuses. I have been, for the past 7 months now, I have been going on the ground to
Yeah.
really look
Do
at the
you have
facilities.
Yeah. So sorry,
Yeah, and
sorry. Do you have
yeah.
an ongoing audit of facilities that are needed or are not in on the ground?
Yes, yes, we're doing that school by school. And I am validating it by going to the schools myself, no? I
Mm-hmm.
just came
Okay.
from Sulu, Basilan, and Tawi-Tawi the past 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Ang problema doon talagang walang internet, lalo na sa Sulu and Tawi-Tawi. So
Mhm.
the mode that could be used there is a combination of face-to-face and offline modes of delivery. Kasi walang provider. Kahit nalagyan mo ng fiber optics yung campus, the signal is so weak, even if you buy more, that is not really cost effective. Pero in many areas, like as you said, UP Baguio, there should be no reason why connectivity cannot be improved because the signal is already there, no?
Yeah.
So, madami
Okay.
pang kailangan gawin. I think one of the things that I have been telling university presidents and administrators of schools is when we say we're adopting a policy of flexible learning, it includes a flexibility of the mind. Hindi lang flexibility ng learning delivery mode.
Hala,
Dapat
patay.
flexible din ang mind ng mga administrators to really address what you were saying. Parang 40, 50 years ago pa yan yung
Yes.
pinagbabawal magkabit ng pampainit ng tubig at saka ng gadgets doon sa or yung iba sinisingil pa per month additional kuryente pagka gumamit ka ng electric fan. There is no more place for that in our educational system today. So
Well,
kailangan flexible din yung mind ng administrators.
okay, well, Chairman, as always, bitin na naman tayo sa oras. So, maglalagay na naman ako ng isang araw for you, probably next week. Kasi talagang this is a commitment of agenda. We are redirecting our program so that we address social issues. Yung politika, sa kanila na yon. Sa akin, yung kinabukasan ng ating mamamayan ang atupagin natin. Congratulations for all that you have accomplished thus far. And please keep up the good work, Chairman.
Yeah, I'll report to you my next round of visits. I'm going to Cordillera, to Caraga, the next batch. I think by next month, I would have completed all the regions already. Nakapadyak na ako ng bisikleta sa lahat ng regions ng buong bansa.
Mag-ingat ka, Chairman, ha? Lahat marami na ako na-interview dito, na ako COVID dahil ikot ng ikot. Magtawag
Nakakuan
ka
na
na
ako.
lang sa mga pamangkin mo, mga pinsan mo, magsusumbong lahat yan. Okay,
Maingat tayo, maingat. I have 58 swab tests already. They're all negative. So I'm very, very careful when I go around. Don't worry, Cito.
okay, thank you very much, Chairman Popoy de Vera of the Commission on Higher Education.
Thank you. It's always
Okay.
a pleasure.
Now let's go to our next guest who will hopefully will again educate us, but this time educate us on how COA works, what COA is supposed to do, and where the problems occur when COA audits a particular department, agency. Ano ba yung mga dahilan kung bakit nagkakasabit-sabit? Okay, let's go to former COA Commissioner Heidi Mendoza. Heidi, good morning to you, ma'am.
Ay, good morning, Cito. Heidi lang.
Okay. Okay lang
Hindi
yun.
na rin Kong.
You earn the title, you keep the title as far as we are concerned. Anyway, I've seen some of your posts. Alam ko na nababash ka na. Kaya mo lang yung gawain ko. Hindi ko pinapansin. I don't even read it. But anyway, Heidi, I was hoping that you could help us today. Kasi let's throw the politics out. Let's throw all the opinion, the chatter, and the static. Let's talk about your knowledge of the Commission on Audit. Ano ba yan? Bakit ba yan? At paano ba yan?
Okay, magandang umaga, Cito. Magandang umaga sa lahat ng ating kababayan, lalong-lalo na sa mga sumusunod sa inyong programa. At salamat sa opportunity mag-explain. I do agree with you, yung usapan na social issues. Maganda talaga yan. Okay, ano ba yung masasabi ko sa COA? Ang Commission on Audit ay isang constitutional commission. Ang ibig sabihin ng constitutional commission, siyempre yung pag-create sa kanya ay nakapaloob doon sa konstitusyon. Ito ay kinakailangan para magkaroon ng lakas ang komisyon dahil mahalaga para sa komisyon yung tinatawag nating independence. independence at objectivity, no? Yung independence, ito ay pinangangalagaan ng ating konstitusyon. Kung kaya, bagamat sinasabi natin na Pangulo ang nag-a-appoint sa head ng COA, ang head naman ng COA at ang kanyang dalawang commissioner ay nagsasubmit doon sa tinatawag nating confirmation process. Pangalawa, yung isang guarantee rin na binigay ng Constitution ay yung tinatawag nating fiscal autonomy. Bagamat ang COA ay kasama sa mga lumilinya sa Kongreso at Senado, nagde-defend ng budget, meron po kaming fiscal autonomy. Ano po yung fiscal autonomy? Kunyari Cito, at the end of the year ay merong natirang savings. Alam po natin sa pamahalaan na kapag may savings ay ibabalik po ito at babalik ho siya dun sa, meron po tayong one fund concept na tinatawag dun sa pool funds ng gobyerno. Ang Commission on Audit po, among the many constitutional commissions, ay merong fiscal autonomy na ang ibig sabihin, meron silang karapatang mag-decide or hindi, itong savings na to ay gagamitin namin para sa komisyon. Unlike ng other agencies that kailangang ibalik yung savings, sa amin po, we can use that. Yun ho yung tinatawag kong constitutional guarantee. Ano pa po yung masasabi ko dun sa COA? Now, under Article 11 po, I think it's Section 90 or something, na andun yung mga powers and functions of the Commission. Yung una, siguro ilang power na lang at ano yung aking babanggitin sa Tagalog. Ano po?
Okay.
Ang una, yung tinatawag nating yung preservation of the vouchers. Kami yung nagpe-preserve nun. Kaya under ng authority namin, although they're being kept in different ng mga client or auditees. Yung pangalawa, yung pag-prescribe ng accounting rules and regulation. Kung ma-observe mo Cito, ang aking dinidiscuss ay yung hindi masyadong alam ng tao. Kasi alam na nila COA yung nag-audit. So, ang akin namang ine-explain ay yung medyo hindi alam. So, ito naman ay yung accounting function. So, dito maraming nagtataka at marami ding nagsasabi na mga peers namin sa ibang bansa, bakit magkasama yung accounting and audit function? Kasi ideally, dapat yung accounting mayroong ibang sangay na maghahawak niyan. Sa ibang bansa, mayroong tinatawag na controllership or anyway, ang sa amin lang, yung pag-prescribe ng accounting policy at saka, siyempre, yung overall accounting para sa gobyerno. Pero alam naman nating lahat na yung individual accounting ng mga ahensya na andon, may accounting unit sa local government, may accounting unit sa national, may accounting unit ang mga corporate. So ang ginagawa lang ng accountants, yung aming tinatawag na gift miss or ang tinatawag namin government accountancy sector ng COA, ang ginagawa nila ay yung bumubuo ng overall results ng accounting system para malaman yung financial standing ng ating bansa. Now, ang COA, dahil siya ay independent, meron siyang power to determine the scope and the timing of audit. So, kumbaga parang kami ang magsasabi na mag-o-audit po kami, magpapadala po kami ng team sa ganitong buwan at ito po ang aming titingnan. Nakalagay po yun dun sa letter. Now, meron hong mga tinatawag na, kunyari may mga nangyaring pagkakataon na may mga quasi-judicial corporations or something na magsasabing, hindi nyo kami pwedeng auditin. And to a lot of extent, matapang po yung COA. Tumatayo po ang COA at nagsasabing, based on the Constitution, ganito, ay dapat namin kayong i-audit. Now, ano po yung pagkakaiba? Para po dun sa mga, kunyari, meron pong mga ibang, kunyari may mga ahensya na tumatanggap naman ng subsidy or something. So, ang tinitingnan lang po ng COA doon ay yung extent of subsidy. Yung lang perang itinulong na galing sa pamahalaan. Now, has the independence of the Commission been challenged? A lot of times. And I would have to say this, kahit wala na ako sa COA, na history will bear us out, na napapagtagumpayan. In fact, alam ko din na may mga ahensya na nakipagtigasan ng ulo sa komisyon. There was even an incident na we pull out our auditing units. The Commission on Audit pulled out its auditing units, dinala sa Commission until after medyo bumaba ng konti yung head ng ahensya at nakipag-usap at doon lang namin isinagawang muling ibalik yung aming audit teams. So ang akin lang masasabi, Cito, ay yung kahalagahan ng independence ng isang komisyon. Pupuntahan ko naman, Cito, yung sinasabi mo na anong kahalagahan ng ginagawa ng COA. Okay, meron po tayong dalawang, hindi naman ito dalawa lang. Yung parang distinction lang ng proseso. Pasensya na, Cito, kasi pinipilit kong gawing napakababaw at hindi technical yung mga terms.
Okay.
So yung isa po, yung tinatawag na auditing. Auditing process. Nagsisimula po yun doon sa pagrevisa, pagre-review, pag-audit ng mga transactions, program, kasama na rin po yung mga kinita, kasama na rin po yung ginastos. Pero meron din pong yung isang process, yung adjudication. Sa adjudication po, after the audit process has been completed, kailangan start yung adjudication process by saying, ano yung audit action na kailangan? Nakita mo, meron kang audit findings. Itong mga ito, bumili ng laptop na masyadong mahal. So, ang tawag po namin dyan ay excessive o pwede po sabihin nating overpricing. I'm not referring to any particular transaction.
Yeah.
I am just citing an example. So, ang gagawin po doon, kung halimbawa pong nakapag-audit na, kompleto na yung audit process, nakapag-exit conference na-issue na po yung, syempre bago naman, after ng exit conference ay mai-issue na yung audit report, yung audit findings, tapos magbibigay sila ng comments, magbibigay ang team ng management rejoinder, and then ipa-finalize ang report. In fact, Cito, bago ma-finalize ang report, susulat ulit yan sa ahensya at sasabihin na we are going to finalize our audit report, and this is we have taken into consideration the management comments submitted, blah 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 blah, ganyan. So they are informed na i-finalize yung audit report.
Kung Heidi,
Yes.
if you don't mind, sisingit lang ako, no? So, liwanagin natin. Pag bago gumalaw ang COA to do an audit in a government agency, naghe-heads up kayo, nag-aabiso kayo, nagsasabi kayo na, guys, pupunta kami dyan, mag-o-audit kami. Tama po?
Linawin ko lang. Meron po tayong resident auditors Ang resident auditors, naka-base na po sa ahensya.
Ayun, okay.
Meron naman pong
So yung government
editorial
agency,
auditing
may
approach.
mga accountants yan, may resident auditor ang COA sa government agency, maliban pa doon sa main office ng COA.
Apo.
Okay. O ngayon, paano yung sistema? Kasi what I'm trying to determine is how does the flagging, hindi flagging, sorry, wrong term, no? How does the notice of audit take place, and how much time does the government agency or officials have to prepare?
Okay. Kaya ho kailangan i-distinguish yung approaches po. Yung sa residency po, bago po pumunta yung auditor, nandun na ho yung team Kung minsan nagpapalit ng team ng tinatawag nating head kasi it's a team Pag ganun ho, may letter of introduction. Pipirmahan ho, kunyari nung panahon ko po, I will sign the letter of introduction addressed to the head of agency. So sasabihin ko, ito na yung team leader dyan. Okay, ganun ho yung resident audit, yung sa sistema ng resident auditors.
Okay.
Meron ho tayong tinatawag na special audits. Ang special audits po, may mga distinct functions. So kunyari sila ay magko-conduct ng performance or parang tinatawag nating value for money audit, or yung tinatawag nating government-wide parang audit approach. So, pag ganun po, kapag ganun, Cito, susulat sa ahensya, ipapaliwanag kung kailan dadating at kung ano ang gagawing audit, anong scope. So, pwede na mangyari, nandun yung resident auditor, pero nandun din yung team from the central office.
Okay.
So, yun lang yung gusto kong i-highlight.
Okay,
Oo.
now gusto ko namang itanong, okay, when does the head office team come in? Kasi if you have a resident auditor, my impression is, nandiyan ka na, ikaw ang magbantay dyan, ikaw ang mag-monitor dyan, ikaw ang mag-check. Ngayon, does the COA main office team come to conduct audits because hindi mapaka-operate ng resident auditor or may nakita yung resident auditor na problema na hindi niya ma-resolve at his level. So call a friend na siya and Ma'am Commissioner tulungan o Sir Commissioner tulungan niyo ako dito baka ma-autopsy ako dito.
Okay, tama naman parehas ito. Maganda naman, magaling naman yung sinabi. Una, merong distinct na audit na naka-assign sa resident auditors. Yun yung tinatawag nating compliance and financial audit. Kasi ito yung audit kung saan dapat magbigay ng audit opinion. So ito ay kumbaga parang ito ay exclusive doon sa resident auditor. Okay? Now, yung ibang types of audit, pwede na siyempre alam natin kapag kasi financial and compliance, malawak yun eh, 'di ba? Ikaw yung titingnan mo talaga yung results of operation ng agency eh, yung kanilang paggamit ng pera, yung pagpapatakbo ng programa. Kaya nire-recognize natin na nako, kailangan may ibang types of audit na yung types of audit na yon, merong mga taong nag-specialize doon, sila naman yung ipapadala. Kunyari, meron tayong tinatawag na fraud audit and investigation unit. Hindi naman pwede ring sabihin call a friend in a lingo. Kumbaga parang halimbawa yung audit team natin, resident audit team ay nakakita ng ilang red flags, no? Sasabihin nila kunyari sa fraud audit unit, nako, pwede ba kaming mag-request ng fraud audit team ganito. Pero it has to pass through a system. Siyempre from the supervisor to the director of the specific cluster, going to the fraud audit unit, going to the assistant commissioner. Now, why are we doing this? Kasi nire-recognize ng commission yung kahalagahan ng specialization. Kasi technical yung audit di ba? It's about a certain expertise. So, kailangan syempre, yung compliance and financial, ito ang concentration ng ating resident auditors. Yung training sa fraud audit, which is different from fraud investigation na ginagawa ng ombudsman, now ay kakaiba rin ang expertise. Kailangan mas sensitive ka sa tinatawag nating manifestations or fraud risk. Okay. So magkaiba ang concentration na yon. Kaya kung minsan pwedeng mangyari na dalawang set of teams ang naan doon. Pwede rin naman na merong halimbawa may construction ng project si ahensya A, syempre iba rin ang expertise noon. Sito. So ang gagawin naman, hihingi naman siya ng mga engineers o kaya kung minsan ay magpapatulong na para tingnan naman at pag-aralan. Kasali na doon yung inspection, kasali na doon yung parang report ng engineer. Yung report ng engineer, ibibigay niya yun sa resident auditor. Kumbaga sito parang...
Pero yung red flag, Ma'am Heidi, no? Kasi ito lang, liwanagin lang natin. Kasi kadalasan, pag nadidinig nating red flag, dalawa lang yan karera ng kabayo o karera ng kabayo o kaya ay paniniwalang there is corruption being committed. But in terms of audits and COA, is it always about concern of pagnanakaw, corruption? Kasi meron din ako nadidinig na ayaw mag-submit ng mga resibo, hindi sinasara yung book of accounts. Kumbaga, katamaran ang dahilan. Ano po ba yung mga red flags, so to speak?
Okay. Sito maganda yung iyong katanungan at maganda rin ang iyong mga paliwanag. Iti-take ko yung iyong example para mas maging malinaw para sa ating mga nakikinig. Kaya nung sinabi mo yung red flag ay sa karera, di ba? Parang red flag. Nakikita mo, yung kabayo nanghihina na, ang lakas-lakas ng takbo niya nung una, patas bigla siya nanghina. So alam mo ngayon kung ano yung yung ganong red flag ang pagtingin ng auditor. Sa auditor, ang tinitingnan naman natin sa red flag is this. Yung bang manifestation na posible, hindi ko sinasabing meron, posibleng may corruption. Halimbawa po, bumili ng sanitary napkin sa construction store. Parang alam mo, ano ba ang nabibili sa construction store? So ang ibig sabihin po noon, hindi naman ibig sabihin kagad dinakaw yung pera. Ang ibig sabihin noon ay bakit nangyari na according dun sa documentation, yung documents na isinabmit ay hindi naaayon doon sa documents na dapat sanang makita. Ay kasi siyempre alam ng lahat, hindi naman nabili ng sanitary napkin sa isang construction. Isa yung red flag. Ang pangalawang red flag na sinasabi ko, yung mga dates. Halimbawa, nag-i-evaluate ka ng procurement public biddings. Ito, ayan, alam mo yan, di ba? Public bidding, sabi kunyari, nag-public bidding kami at eto yung nanalo. Okay. Ako, bilang auditor ha, kunyari lang ako kasi mahirap ako magpangalan ng auditor na
Yes.
kunyari ako ang nag-audit. Nakita ko yung letter of award August 15. Pero yung procurement na sinasabing public bidding nangyari September 1. So I will take it as a red flag, Cito, di ba? Kasi parang sasabihin mo, bakit nangyari na na-award na pala pero yung bidding mo nangyari September 1. Now, ano ang gagawin sa red flag? Kasi gaya nga na sinabi mo, ito rin ang sinabi ng presidente, no? Na wala namang ninakaw eh. O tama 'yon. Pero hindi dapat matapos doon. Doon gagamitin yung tinatawag nating additional audit procedures. So anong gagawin mo? Nung ako 'yon, ang ginawa ko, syempre, tiningnan ko ngayon yung letter of acceptance ng contractor. In other words, ang pinagbabangga mo rito yung internal and externally sourced document, no? Yung internal document, yung letter of award. Sinabi mo sa contractor, ay panalo ko na, August 15 pa lang. Ngayon, tingnan mo ngayon yung externally sourced document. Bakit? Iba ang strength ng credibility and reliability ng mga documents na ito. Siyempre, kung auditor ka, hindi ka basta magre-rely sa internally generated documents, no? I'm not saying hindi pagtitiwalaan, hindi basta. So, kukuha ka ng external document. Tiningnan ko ngayon yung acceptance ng contractor. The same date, August 15. So ang ibig sabihin, sinisira mo ngayon yung fidelity in which the conduct of public bidding was conducted. Kasi ang ibig mo sabihin, bidding-biddingan ang ginawa nyo. Bakit? Sabi nyo, September 1 may bidding, pero tinanggap na nung contractor yung award ninyo, August 15. In fact, yung letter award ay ibinigay nyo on the same date. So,
Okay,
ito
Heidi,
yung na audit procedures na ginagawa ng auditor.
kailangan ko talaga isang araw with you eh. Pero hindi.
Sorry, mahabang explanation.
Hindi. Maganda explanation mo. Pero because I'm down to my last 3 minutes, I will have to reschedule na lang with you. But here's my last question. No? Medyo double question to. Kasi parang ang sinasabi ng mga naapektuhan, not just now, not just the DOH, not just the President, in the past. Parang, kailangan pa ba yung isa publiko yan? Bakit parang sinasabi ninyo, ito, si ganito, si ganon, parang as you are flogging, and not just flagging. Paki-explain nga po, sino po ba talaga may kasalanan niya? Kayo bang sa COA o kaming sa media? Magkaliwanagan.
Ako po, eto yun Kung tatanungin na kailangan isa publiko, hello, public funds po ito. At may pakailam ang bawat mamamayan. Hindi ho dapat tinatanong yan. Talagang kailangang nasa public yan. Ngayon, yung po sinasabing kasalanan ba ng media, hindi naman. Dahil hindi naman totoong ibinigay sa media. Yun po ay hindi totoo. Naandyan po yan sa website. Kasama po doon sa tinatawag na transparency ng COA na i-post immediately po, I think after a number of days. Sorry Cito, hindi ko na alam yung po ilang number of days na dapat i-post. Kailangan i-post na po yan sa website. So kapag i-pinost na po sa website, syempre yung po mga media, and I'm thankful to them, duty rin nila yon, babasahin nila yung audit report. And then, syempre they will make explanation stories about it. Doon nagkakaroon ng konting dahil there are terms ng accounting or auditing, more on auditing terms na technical at iba yung pagbasa namin. Sabihin natin may lengguwahe yung mga auditors, may lengguwahe din naman ang mga journalists, So, kung minsan nagkakaroon ng ibang twist, I would say, o nagkakaroon ng ibang kahulugan. Pero hindi ko naman sabihin na ini-intention ba yan. Talagang you would like to make your story. You would like your story to be relevant. You would like to bring out the information. And therefore, doon po nagkakaroon ng medyo hindi pagkakaanuhan. Halimbawa, ipapaliwanag ko. Pag sinabing could not be accounted for, pag sinabing could not be accounted for ng auditors, maraming bagay yan. Pwedeng could not be accounted for dahil walang dokumento. And therefore, wala ka pang i-file, wala ka pang conclusive, sinasabi mo lang walang dokumento, hindi ko ma-account. Or hindi mo account dahil magulo yung substantiation ng transaction
Kumbaga,
kung hindi kumpleto. Ano po?
okay.
Pagdating po sa media, pag sinabing hindi ma-account, pag na-communicate na sa tao, posibleng tama pa rin yung pag-pick up. Pagdating sa tao, pagbanat sa social media, sasabihin, nako, ibalik nyo, nakawin nyo. Ang isang particular na example, yung PhilHealth, yung 15 billion na
Okay.
Akala ng tao, 15 billion na ninakaw. Hindi ganun yun.
Okay, Ma'am Heidi, ganito na lang, no? Kasi ang summation ko for today's lesson, finish or not finish, pass your paper. And nangyari, hindi nila na kompleto ang submission nila or hindi klaro, so they will be graded based on that. Pero if you would, Ma'am Heidi, may we ask for a second interview, if not tomorrow, next week, kasi po, marami tayong naliliwanagan. I am more interested for the people to understand COA and accounting and auditing kasi dyan po kami poor. Mahina na ako sa math. Montik pa akong hindi pumasa sa accounting 101. Okay. Thank you very much, Ma'am Heidi.
Thank you po. Hindi naman totoong mahina ako sa Ang galing mo nga pong magtanong. Sige, salamat but I cannot commit tomorrow.
Okay.
Po yung schedule tomorrow.
We will see, Ma'am. No? Pero
Salamat po,
I really appreciate your time and I really appreciate your explanations kasi yan po makakatulong na maliwanagan ng tao. And please stay healthy, stay safe, and huwag niyong binapansin yung mga trolls.
Sige po, salamat po ng marami. Bye.
Okay, thank you very much. That's former COA Commissioner Heidi Mendoza. Ayun po, no, napakagandang explanation. I have to go. Thank you very much for joining us today. And God willing, we will be able, if Ma'am Heidi can graciously accept our second invitation. Thank you very much. I'm Cito Beltran. That's today's agenda.